The moors are beautiful but dangerous, rugged, craggy, dark. And upon these moors lived a dark and dangerous creature, from which came an even darker and more dangerous being. A being that has haunted the moors for years, yet still terrorizes the locals. Once there was a village at the bottom of a hill on the moors. There was a river nearby, and a train track. There was a pub, a little school, and a playground. But the village was the home of a dark and terrible secret. Children were being murdered. People were being killed. And no one had any idea who or what was killing them. But, of course, they did know. It was the elephant in the room. If they didn't talk about it, maybe it would go away. But it didn't. It all started with a warlock who went by no name. He lived in the caves on the moors alone, and had done so for many years. Every night, he would leave his cave, travel across the moors, down the hill, over the river, across the railway, into the village, until he finally arrived at the village pub, where he would drink mead until the bar staff would throw him out in the early hours of the new day. The warlock would then proceed to leave the village, across the railway, over the bridge, up the hill, across the moors, and back into his cave, stumbling drunkenly as he went. And he would sleep off his state of intoxication until the early evening, when he would go out and start the drinking all over again. One night, the warlock, as per usual, left his cave, travelled across the moors, down the hill, over the river, across the railway, into the village, and into the pub where, as per usual, he proceeded to drink himself into an alcohol-infused stupor. Then, as per usual, he was thrown out of the pub in the early hours, and he started to stagger his way out of the village. But, on this night, a travesty happened. For on this night, the warlock stumbled and tripped, falling to the ground. In his damned state of intoxication, the warlock did not think to get up, and proceeded to sleep right there on the grass. Except, he was not fully on the grass. Had it not been for how his wrist fell, the world would have remained safe and unchanged. But his wrist fell that way, and nothing can be done to change it. The warlock's wrist fell upon the train tracks that ran past the village, and the nighttime train was coming. The train hurled down the tracks towards the sleeping warlock. It sped closer and closer and closer until... The train sliced through the warlock's hand, severing it from his body. The train passed, and the warlock, drunk and crazed with both pain and alcohol, ran across the moors and threw himself into the river, where he drowned. But although the body had drowned in the waters of the river, his hand remained. As the morning sun rose, the hand twitched. For all of the dark magic that had flowed in the warlock's black blood still existed within the hand, and it fed the hand, keeping it alive. And within this hand lurked bitterness, resentment, and the desire for revenge. For the hand was not pleased to have been separated from the body, and it greatly desired revenge from the driver of the train who had failed to stop. Of course, the train driver can hardly be blamed, for it was dark, and there should not have been a warlock on the tracks. But this did not occur to the Hand, whose one instinct was simply revenge. And so the Hand began to seek out the driver of the nighttime train. But due to certain biological failings, the Hand could not identify the train driver. And so it killed any human that it happened to chance upon. It is said that those who died at the fingers of the Hand saw the ghost of the body of the full warlock as their life left this world. The origins of the warlock are unknown. Some say that he came from a far-off land, sailing here having been rejected from his homeland. The origins of the warlock are unknown. Some say that he came from a far-off land, sailing here having been rejected from his homeland. And that once he arrived in England, he was trapped, and so drank himself into stupors to forget his woes. Some say that he was once a young lad from the village, abandoned, a changeling child left on the moors who turned to black magic as a means of survival. But the origins are not what truly matter. It is the consequences. For now, because of the warlock's evil and his death, there is not a safe soul within the world from his cruel and immortal hand.